Hello everyone, this is Akça from the leading Turkish metal magazine Deli Kasap. And today we are hosting Lars of the metal band The Lightbringer of Sweden. Welcome, Lars. And
Yeah, thank you.
I want to start with a very basic question. Can you tell us a bit about how did you decide on the name of the band, The Lightbringer of Sweden? Where does it come from? What does it mean?
It's about. Sorry, I have to turn off some sounds here, but yeah, it's about Lucia in as the term the light bringer. It's coming from a story I have written about the fight between good and evil. So the whole band actually started in a book as a story I wrote. And the Lightbringer is the good force in this story. And I know the story is a little bit different there because the Lightbringer is Lucia, and from the beginning she was the dark force dressed in light. Yeah, so it's a little twist for this. It's come from the story
Yeah,
I
such a
wrote.
good team, yes. And it's very
Yeah,
shown in everything you do, I think.
yeah.
Yes. And like, how did you form the band with the people? Like the beginning of your lineups, and how did you meet everyone? What did you expect from the future of the band in the very beginning?
Uh, basically nothing. I, as I say, I wrote a story, and I was in a very dark place in my life. I just ended another band, and in 2010, and some tragic. I had lost a childhood friend, and I have
Sorry.
yeah. So I have no. So I have did nothing with music for a very long time. I did a little bit of country rock together with a friend, and then I start writing, and yeah, the story become that's what you can hear on the two albums. So I don't know how to make this to a whole, but
Yeah, I see.
no, but yeah, and what was the question again? I lost myself.
Of course,
But,
feel free to talk about
yeah,
anything. It's like, how did you meet all of the people, the band members, and how did the lineup change in time? Maybe if anything happened.
yeah. Um, as from the beginning, it was just only the song Skeletor that was going to be recorded and released with Niklas Stålvind from Wolf on vocals. And they were recording the album Feeding the Machine at the moment, which was a long process for them, and I was eager to make this to a release. And then I saw on Facebook that Herbie Longhans, an old-time favorite singer, was just making some commercial about he want to do some vocals on something because he was done recording and he was waiting for a tour and had a slot in his time. So I just wrote to him, "Hello,
Oh,
would you like to sing on this?" And he was just answering, "Yeah, maybe I will look. I will come back to you in a few weeks and see what I can do."
oh, so good.
And yeah, and after some maybe 3 4 hours, he wrote back like, "Who the hell are you? I want to do this. What is this?"
Oh, so good.
Yeah. So then we stopped to let's start talking, and some I had some songs lying around, and somewhere in the discussion, I don't remember, it's about 5 years ago, he was asking, "Do you have material for the whole album.
Mhm.
And I just, yeah, of course, did I say, but no, I didn't. But so basically, I wrote the first album, and just as the song finishing, I send them to her. But here's the next song. Here's the next song. So I just work, and then the album was finished. And the first thought I have for album was many different singers, like the Avantasia
Mm.
kind of stuff. But Herbie did such a good job on Skeletor and was happy to sing on all the other songs. So I changed that direction. So yeah, that was the birth of the Lightbringer of Sweden, I think.
Oh, it's so good. You had such good luck, all of you, to get together. It's so inspiring of a story, I think.
Yeah, and yeah, it's all coincidence.
Yeah.
It's nothing planned. It was just, I don't know what it was. It was just, everything was just falling apart for me. So
Yeah.
it
Very
was
glad
really,
that it happened in any case.
yeah,
So good.
yeah, and it's yeah, and my goal was just to, can we get with the first singles, that can we get 5,000 streams until Christmas. We was releasing this before Christmas. Then I'm very happy,
Cool.
and we blow that, I would say. And when the album was released, I was thinking, yeah, maybe we can reach 10,000 with the whole album. And we, when we came to the new year, we was, I think, 250,000
Perfect.
streams. So yeah, everything just exploded. And right now we are at 6,800,000 streams on YouTube, Spotify, and
Wow.
Apple Music. So
Congratulations. That's too good.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, and for me as not a professional musician in that term, it's mind blowing. I didn't expect anything.
Yes. But maybe now you are because you have reached such numbers and so on. I think we can say that.
Yeah, yeah, maybe, but yeah, I don't see myself as a professional musician yet because I'm not out touring. I'm not doing stuff like that. I'm not feeding my family with the music, the money from the music.
Oh, I
I
see.
just paying what I messed up with the.
Yeah, but it depends on where you look at it from because to us, your band is very great and you're good musicians and you're professional. So
Yeah,
it depends, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, cool.
But I'm a lucky one that has so many professional musicians around me. So
So good.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe I can ask another question relating to what we have been talking about recently. Like you have such complex musical layers in everything you do. Can you give us information on how do you produce your music? Like, do you do it mostly online or do you get together with the members? Do you have like other mediums of producing music? How does it go usually?
Uh, yeah. Uh, yeah. No, we never meet for recording sessions. We are too widespread over Europe to
Cool.
have the time. So basically, it starts with I write all the guitars, I write all the lyrics, all the song melodies, and some drum ideas for Tobbe, and then I release everything to a common, yeah, due to Dropbox,
Mhm.
and we do our stuff, yeah, independent on different in our own studios.
Okay.
And then I collect everything here and make some basic mixes. And then I have a dear friend in Gothenburg, Fredrik Nordström at Studio Fredman, who is mixing and master everything.
Mhm. Do you think
So
it's a good method? Because it seems not very used in general music world. Normally you get together, but like, do you think it gets you to produce things faster or anything?
uh, I think it's good because if we had done this at a studio together, we all have a limited time to take to. Yeah, maybe we have drum one day, and then Tobe has to do everything in one day, and if he isn't satisfied with his work, then well, that it is. We have the drums, so but when we work like this, we have more freedom to do stuff when we have the feeling to do it. I'm not a person who want to be forced. Today, I need to get this done,
Mhm.
and I work very much with. Now I have the feeling to do this, and now I want to do it, and I think that is a good thing. But of course, I miss being in a studio together with other bandmates and laughing and pushing ourselves towards a goal. But I think for the manufacturing part of this, I think it's good to just leave it to your own time and yeah.
Yeah, I see. So, like, you get the main idea, you produce everything, you get the outline and the idea of the songs, and then everyone works, maybe I can say remotely, and then you join the things together. Maybe we can do
Yeah,
it like this.
something like that.
It's so good.
And I never force someone to do things exactly as I have done it. My stuff is just ideas on my vision on stuff. But if Herbie wants to change a vocal line or some melodies, he's free to do that because I want everyone to be proud and be yourself represented in your music. I don't want to be the one who's pointing the whole hand and you have to do it like this. This is my vision. You have to do it. Not like that because I think it shows in the music. We like what we do and I give everybody space to do what they want.
It's so good.
Yeah. I, I think it's the best way to work.
You're right, because it's a band thing, so it's not one person, I think.
Yeah.
It's good. So I may have another question about like the story you have mentioned in the beginning. As far as I
Yeah.
understood, you're an author as well, besides the music, right?
Not an order like that because this was something I didn't know what to do with my creative side. So
Okay,
let's try to write a story
I
and
see.
when the story was finished I didn't know what to do with it, so I just leaned back to the music and well, let's do some music
And you
with it.
have like so many themes. How can I phrase it? Like you include very much mythological characters, mythological scenes, many fights, many like missions and fighters and so on. Do you get
Yeah,
them related to any philosophical, mythological, and religious backgrounds as like telling your
yeah,
story?
I heard that a lot.
Yeah,
I get a question very much, are you a Christian band?
yeah, kind of.
No. Yeah, no, no, we're not. But I can see why people relate it to that because there are a lot of gods and please help me God
Yeah.
phrases like that in the music. So I can truly relate. And if someone want to relate to it as a, if it helps them, it's yeah, it's good. I don't see any problem with that. But the basic story isn't a religious thing. It's as you say, a lot of mystical creatures and it's werewolf, it's monsters, it's the devil, it's God, it's angels, it's a little bit of everything in the story. So, but no, not a Christian band at all.
So as you said, the main theme is the bad and good fighting, but not fighting in
Yeah,
a sense, being common as well, maybe.
yeah, it's could easily be two midgets, one good and one bad fighting. It's just like
So cool.
so.
Yeah, so If I didn't get it wrong from the previous research I've made, you have created the logo of the band, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I
Do you
have.
create all of the visuals, like the album covers, the fan wallpapers, and so on?
Yeah, I do all the graphic stuff
Oh,
for, but as for uh, the main graphics, I have friend Sara Sarstedt, who is no, sorry, Isabel Sarstedt, who is making all the basic, not the basic, but the paintings, and I do all the stuff around. Like I purchase images from her and put them together to
so the art is mainly hand drawn, and you do the digital work.
yeah,
Is it like this, or?
yeah,
Oh, so
yes, I
cool.
do.
Perfect.
Yeah, and she's a very talented
So
artist.
beautiful.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
So do you get the images like consistent with the album and the story you're telling? Do you have some themes that you work around? Like, do you talk on the phone saying, "I want this and this to be on the image"? How does it happen usually?
yeah, fully like that. We, I even had made some pictures of myself sending her, maybe like this, and you know, stuff like that, and she takes that.
So good.
Uh, yeah, for the album cover, "The Beast Inside of Me," the whole face is mine. So yeah, I have made a very
Oh, it's a cool information.
yeah. So it's very fun. So no, she's a great
Yeah,
artist.
perfect. And like, let's get back to the musical term. Do you have any like musical references in terms of like sound or making the album or telling the story? Can you like name us some bands or artists if you got inspired by any?
I would say I am heavily sound-wise inspired by Accept. I like the rawness of the music, and when I write music, I don't want any add-ons like piano, synth, and symphonies and stuff. I want it to be guitar-based, drums, and vocals. That is the music. So
Good, accepts.
yeah, but as a songwriting reference, I just love Tobias Sammet from Edguy Avantasia. I see him as one of the best in the world as a songwriter and musician.
Very cool. Another
Yeah.
question, maybe. How do you think the new world order is like going globally? Because I think you got some very good feedback. Are you happy with the results, or are you still expecting some things? What do you think of the process?
I think the response has been very good actually for the New World Order. But as expected, not everybody is saying, yeah, it's a very good album, but the first one, wow, that's a killer. So that was kind of expected. But as for the third album now, I will go more back to the basics of the first album. And I think it's been a learning process of what people want and how the fans of the Lightbringer of Sweden is listening and referring. So I'm trying to adjust a bit towards the third album on what people want because the New World Order was a bit experimental from my side. It's a bit heavier and darker, I think.
So you now expect to get back to the previous style of yours, maybe?
Maybe not, but that more intense and speed. I have a very good feeling about the album, how it's coming along, and it's. I I don't know how much I will promise, but but as for now, it's a must heavier and faster album than the New World Order.
Yeah, we'll see.
I,
Uh,
I think it will be a mix of both of them.
of course, the time is helping to develop and learn, I think.
Yeah.
So cool. So we saw, as the magazine, while we are doing our research on Facebook, you had upcoming news. Is it about the new album, or do we expect another thing? Can you give a little bit of a spoiler if it's okay?
No, I think it's a secret, as it was just.
Yeah, I see.
Uh, when is this video going to be released?
Oh, I don't know. Up to your answer, we can, but I don't know. However, you feel safe.
Yeah, no, it's kind of big news and funny news, that I can say. But uh, yeah,
Cool.
I think people will like it. But I have to.
Cool. Then, if it's a secret, we can leave a link below of your Facebook, and if anyone wonders it, they can go and see on Facebook. Are you gonna release it, like the news?
In a few weeks, I will
Okay,
release
okay.
the news. But I will not do a Linkin Park with a countdown that's
Okay.
to reverse that.
Cool, cool. Okay, so far for me, those are the main questions. Do you have anything else
Yeah.
you would like to say to our subscribers that mainly live in Turkey? Maybe you can be interested in spreading some news or something else.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's very fun to get this interview to Turkish. I didn't know that we was that appreciated in
Of course.
Turkey. Yeah, it's a new ground for me. I didn't know metal was a big thing there, so
Yeah,
I'm very glad.
thank you for like being here because for
Yeah,
for some time it has been like a little bit less present, but now it's like getting bigger and bigger. And thanks for being a part of it. It's very valuable to have chats like this for us.
yeah. So
Yeah.
no, I'm very glad, and I
Yeah, me
hope
too.
to sometime come to Turkey and play.
Yeah, of course. If you have any like opportunities or plans of coming to Turkey, let us know. We will be there as like fans.